This is Module 2, Lesson 1, our first Mindtap activity, Lab 3-1, Linux Terminal Navigation. Okay, so I'll click on the link and it will take me into the assignment. We'll enter the virtual lab environment where we engage in hands-on practice that help us learn the materials and how to do the job of an IT professional. In this lab, we're going to practice navigating through the Linux file system from the terminal interface. We execute commands using relative and absolute paths. Then we'll search with terms within files. Start. Open a terminal window. Change to the root of the operating system. List the contents of the root directory and move into the etc directory. List the contents of the etc directory and move into the init directory and list the contents. List and record the size of the file called rcconf. Okay, so let's say we are not sure how to do this that they're asking us to do. There is a show me here, and if I click on show me, it brings up a video resource, and that resource will actually...
We'll open our terminal interface by clicking Applications, System Tools, then Terminal. Now here at the terminal prompt, we'll switch to the root directory by typing cd and /.
Okay, and
Now we'll list the contents of that directory.
Because I know I'm not going to be able to do all of this at one time, I'm going to go back and do what it tells me to here at the beginning and open a terminal window. So I can close this for a minute. Come into Applications, down to System Tools, and open a terminal window. Now I can go back to my show me where it left off.
System Tools, then Terminal. Now here at the terminal prompt, we'll switch to the root directory by typing cd and /.
Okay, so that's my next
Now we'll list the contents of that directory.
Is to change to the root directory. Needed cd, this is a space in between here, cd space /. cd space / and hit enter. Next, we want to list the contents of the root directory, which is where we're currently at.
By typing ls.
All right, so you'll see ls is the command to list those files. There we go. Now I can close that out, come back here, ls to list the files, and hit enter. Good. Move into the etc directory.
Next we'll switch to the etc directory. Type cd / etc. Display.
All right, and there is a space in between there, so it's CD space /etc. List the contents of the /etc directory. So since we're in that directory, we can just use ls. And again, I want to go watch that.
Display the contents of that directory by typing ls again.
And confirm that I did the right thing.
Change to the init directory by typing cd init. Now list the contents of that directory.
Okay, so I can come back and move to the init directory, cd init, and then list the contents of that directory using ls.
Next, we'll determine the file size of the rc.conf file by typing ls-l and the file name rc.conf.
All right, so ls-l and rc.conf. That'll give us the contents of that file.
We return to our home directory using the tilde shortcut. Type
Okay, so once I finished that and I hit the show me, it just continued on to the next set of instructions. Here we're looking at returning to the home directory using the tilde command. The tilde is shift and it's right next to the 1 key on me or on my keyboard. It's like there's a apostrophe there. Close this and come back here and come back to the home directory.
cd and tilde. Now from our home directory, we need to use the absolute path name to the target file, rc.conf. Type ls-l /etc/init /rc.conf.
Okay, so here we want to list that file, but we're not in that directory, so we have to give it the absolute path name, ls-l, and then /etc, init, and then the name of the file. ls-l and then /etc/init /rc.conf. And once I finish that, it moves me on to my next set of instructions. Move up one
To move
level.
up one directory from your current location, type cd dot dot. Now,
all right, it's not cd dot dot, it's cd space dot dot. So if you're a Windows user, it's cd dot dot. If we're in Linux, it's cd space dot dot. Verify your new location using the pwd command, and we're home.
to return to our home directory, we'll use the tilde shortcut, cd tilde. Now we'll move to the root directory using double dots. Type
Okay, so they want me to do cd tilde. And then that made me right into the next part.
cd dot dot forward slash dot dot.
Okay, so cd space dot dot forward slash dot dot. Verify that this file is a readable file. If it is, open it with the cat command and review the output. Use the clear command to clear the screen. All right, so let's look at how to do that.
To determine the file type of our file, enter file /etc /init /rc .conf at the prompt and hit enter. We can see that the file contains ASCII English text.
Okay, so we'll stop there, and we're using the file command space and then the absolute name of the file. So file etc and net rc conf. rc.conf. Like I said, we can see the ASCII English text there.
So now we'll open it with the cat command. Type cat /etc /init /rc.conf.
Okay, so cat and the absolute path /etc /init /rc.conf. Oops, I spelled init wrong. There we go. But see how easy
And
it
here we
is
see the full contents of the file.
to keep using the show me to step through each part of the process. All right, next we're going to clear the screen. Oh, and do that part. I don't see where you use clear, so I'm going to go down and close and clear. That'll take me into the next exercise where we're going to find all instances of the word root in the file etc passwd.
Root is a common regular expression, so we can use the grep command to search within files for that term. To find root in the password file, at the command prompt, type grep root /etc/passwd.
Okay, so this is using the grep command that lets us find terms within files. So grep, and then the term we want to find is root. And we're going to look in this specific file, etc passwd. Close the window when you're finished. Click Next. What's the size of the rc-conf file? Now, this was not one of those things I remembered, so I can go back, and if I come back here and looked at where I did the list, it's 281 bytes. Then I kind of have to go back and answer the question. How many instances of the term root were found in the password file? There were 4 of those, I do believe. Regardless of your username, you can always refer to your own home directory by using the tilde command or meta character. The command cd etc uses a relative path, and the blank command will display file types using special characters. The file command, and then we can get a detailed list and a summary of that. It's mostly for fun on this part. Now we're going to close out the Synage learning window and go on to the next exercise. Perform basic file editing operations using VI. Okay, so over here on the right is our instructions, and a lot of you have seen this environment before, but if you've not, read over this first page, then click Next. This shows us the devices we may use in these labs. We have the Windows server, which is plabs A01. Then we have CentOS server, which is plab Linux 01. and an Ubuntu server, which is PLAB Linux 02. Depending on the exercise, we may or may not use all of those devices. Page 3 is where we really get started with our instructions. And in this exercise, we'll do basic file editing, including viewing, inserting, deleting, and making modifications to a file. Linux offers the VI editor to enable users to perform these operations. In addition, you can use VI to create, copy, and delete files. All right. So here's our outcomes. We're going to log into a Linux system, create a document using VI, navigate a document using VI, and manage a file using VI. And we'll be using the PLAB Linux CentOS server, so you want to make sure that PLAB Linux 01 is powered on. If it's not, power it on. So this is what we'll do in task 1, and then they list the steps down here to perform that task. So we'll create, enter text, save, and close a file using the VI editor. And the first step in that is to right-click on the desktop and open a terminal. So I want to make sure I'm on PLAB Linux 01. I'm going to scroll up just a little bit and make sure that that's the device that's listed there. Okay, since it is, I'm on to step 1, and I'll right-click in the window and open terminal. Didn't quite get it. Got to get my mouse to sync up. There we go. In step 2, we're going to create a new document using the VI editor. So we'll type VI test.txt. And there is a space in between VI and test.txt. This puts me in the editor, and I'm now ready to start typing information into my file. Okay, this is the new document. It has the name test.txt. It's here in this long. All right, there's 2 modes to this editor, command and insert. You use the command mode to execute various commands, while the insert mode is used to enter text into the file. So we'll press I to get into the insert mode. Once I'm in the insert mode, it says the insert mode message appears. I need to scroll down to see that down here. And I'll now start typing, this is a test file, period. Okay, once I've done that, we'll save and close the file. To get out of the insert mode, we hit escape. And you notice insert went away down here at the bottom, and I'm going to type :WQ. Not 3 times, don't know where that came from. :WQ and press enter. that saves and closes the file. It writes and quits is what WQ is for. It writes the file and quits. Now we're back at the command prompt. The file's saved and closed, and we're on to task 2, which is navigate a document using VI. So step 1 of that is going to be to open that test.txt file that we just created, and we do that using VI test.txt. Another way to quickly do that is hit the up arrow, and it brings up the last command that I issued. And I go into the editor. Notice we're not in the insert mode, so right now we're in the command mode. Yep, we should be seeing the file that we created in the last step or the last task. You can now start navigating the text within the file. Alternately, we can use the keys below to navigate within the file. You can use the up and down arrow keys or L, H, J, and K. L is right. H is left. J is down. And K is up. Press L to move one character to the right. Go back by pressing H. And yes, you can also use the up and down, left and right arrow keys to do the same thing, if you have those. All right, then for step 4, they want us to add to the text file. So remember to hit I to go into the insert mode. And I have a way to open this. So that we can see what they typed. Give me 1 second and I'll get back. There we go. All right, so this is kind of weird, but give me 1 second and I'll get it there. Make it easier to see what we're trying to type in this window. And this one, usually I can collapse it. There it goes. Okay. All right, so I'm going to come here and hit I, make sure I go into insert mode. And I did. Use my arrow key to come to the end. Hit enter. It is always a new beginning, period. Past is left behind, period. Look at tomorrow, period. Start fresh, period. Tomorrow is a new day, period. All right, there we go. Okay, came down too far. Hang on one second. Before moving ahead, enter a few more lines. We just did that. Okay. First, we need to ensure that we're not in the insert mode, so come back and hit escape. If you have more than one line in the file, you can jump to a specific line by entering the line number along with J or K. So I can do no, not in the right page. 3J, J3, it's still not working. K3, there we go. 3L, 3H, 3J, 3K, 3L. Okay, we just move around. Just want you to get familiar with moving around, easy ways to use that feature. Shift $sign moves to the end of a line. So say you're in the middle, you need to go to the end. Shift $sign jumps you to the end of the line. Shift caret goes to the beginning of the line, which is 6. Shift 6. Another thing you want to watch here is the auto log out. If it goes less than, say, 15 minutes, just hit it and it goes right back to 60 minutes. But if it times out, it logs you out automatically. So keep an eye on that. Okay, to go to the start of a file, we'll press 1, then Shift and H. And you notice it goes back to the very beginning of the file. Shift plus H does give you a capital H, similar to the home function. To go to the end of a word, you can click E. Now these are when you're not in insert mode, so I'm not typing now. These are different commands that we can use to navigate through the file. Okay, W takes us to the beginning of the next word. The beginning of the previous word, B. To go to the start of the next sentence, Shift and right parentheses, which is 0, goes to the next sentence. And the other parentheses over 9 goes backwards. to the previous sentence. To go to the end of the paragraph, it's the curly bracket. So shift and curly bracket goes to the end of the paragraph, and shift and left curly bracket goes to the beginning of the paragraph. Search forward for a specific string of text. Enter the string after the forward slash. So if we want to search for tomorrow, we would do / tomorrow. And it highlights the next occurrence. And note the first character is black and the rest is highlighted in yellow. Okay, search backwards. We use question mark and tomorrow. And move down to start, so it went back to tomorrow. Okay, :NOH shuts off the current highlighting in command mode. So we come up here and NOH, no highlighting, and it turns it off. Okay, we're now on to task 3, manage a file using VI. The command and insert mode of the VI editor are mutually exclusive. This means that only one mode can be activated at a time. Therefore, the commands entered only when in the editor is not in the insert mode. Commands are identified by special characters, including the \, question mark, or the colon, and appear in the left bottom corner of the file. Remember, the commands in the VI editor are case sensitive. In this task, we'll perform basic file functions, including insert, edit, delete, copying, and finding text in a file. Okay, so in step 1, we're going to navigate to the end of the 4th line using the arrow keys if necessary. So we want to go to the end of the 4th line, which is look at tomorrow. To enter a new line of text below the current line, press O. The VI editor gets into insert mode. Notice we're now in insert mode and there's a blank line. In the blank line, type start fresh, but then I'd have 2 start fresh lines. I'm not sure what that's what I wanted me to do. Let me double check that image. Hang on one second. Yeah, so apparently they didn't want me typing that line in the first time. Now they want it in there. And I'm ready for a new line, but it should look like that. Or I can type a new test line in there. The idea was just to edit the file, and then we hit escape to get out of insert mode. Okay, now they tell us to hit X, and you see that deletes. Okay, it says go to the middle of any line. Okay, so I'm in the middle of my second line. To append text after the last character at the end of the line, press capital A, so it'd be Shift A. That goes past the end of the line. And we're back in insert mode. You can use caps lock or shift, either one, to make that a capital A. Okay, step 6, we're going to hit escape and come out of insert mode. Place the cursor in any of the words. To append the current cursor position, press A. Over here, A. Puts me in insert mode, and I can now start typing. All right, hit escape, come out of the insert mode. Delete the current highlighted letter, press X. Note, in my case it was always. I deleted the Y. To delete the current line, go into the insert mode using I. Move the cursor over any part of the sentence look at tomorrow, and then press Shift S, and it deletes the whole line and takes us into insert mode. Okay, so we'll hit escape and come out of insert mode. In command mode, we'll enter colon, Q, exclamation point, and that exits the file without saving any of those changes that I just made. So instead of WQ for write and quit, Q exclamation just quits and comes out without saving. Now we're back at the command prompt. And we'll open the file one more time. And you'll see that none of those changes that I just made took effect. Oh, Okay, so we're now on to step 11. The file's now closed without saving changes and navigated to the command prompt. Open the test file once again. If prompted, press R and enter. Now, I didn't save my file, so this text was not saved in there. They want us to delete the first word. To do this, type DW. Notice it deleted the word. To delete from here to the end of the line is $, and that deleted the entire line. Okay, again, I'll do the :Q exclamation that say quits without saving. And I'll open the file one more time. D curly bracket deletes a group of text. Okay, so D curly bracket. I'm in insert mode, so I have to hit escape to get out of insert mode and do D curly bracket. Right curly bracket deletes to the end of the file. To delete text from the point of your cursor, D $. To delete from, we did that one, the D right. Okay. Close the file without saving. :D exclamation. I did something wrong there. :Q exclamation. Upside down today, I guess. And then launch the file one more time. To copy text from here to the end of the file, enter YY. You don't see any changes made because it just copied it to the clipboard. To paste the line, press P. To copy a specific number of lines, enter the number of lines to copy along with the lowercase yy. So if I want to specify these, sorry, and make them numbered. Okay. And let's say I want to copy the first two and reduplicate it. I can do the 2YY. It copies the first two. I can come to the end. Nope, that's not where I want the space. And then use P to paste the two lines that I copied. Okay, let's say I want to delete this blank line. DD deletes the line. To delete two lines, I can do 2D, and it deletes those last two lines. And depending on where I'm at, when I press P, it pastes that information there. If I use capital P, it pastes it before where I asked it where I was. If I use lowercase p, it pastes it after where I was. We can press ZZ uppercase to save the file and exit. Brings me back to the window. They want me to open the file one more time to verify the contents are intact. Okay. VI Editor enables us to create or load another file from within an existing file. Using the command :E! Forces the VI Editor to exit the current file and open a new one. For example, to open a new file by the name of, well, it says new file, but then it tells us to type new test. So I'm going to type what it tells me to type, which is new test. So we're going to name with a new file by the name of new test.txt from within test.txt file. So we're over here and we'll type :E! Space new test.txt. Okay, and you notice now that the new file is there, and we're now in new test.txt. I'm getting down 35 minutes. I'm just going to hit it and make sure I'm not timing out anytime soon. Okay, we're on step 23. The new file is open. Exit the file by using the following command: WQ! We're back at the command line. We'll open the test file once again in step 26. And we'll search for specific words, lines, and characters within a file. To perform a forward search of lines starting with the letter P, type the following command, and it's /P and press enter. Pattern not found because I didn't have any P's. Okay. Let me try that one again. I'll do colon, no, not colon, /T, and you'll see it highlights all the T's that I have. We can also search for specific words. I'm going to use test instead of left. So I'll do // less than left. And I told myself I wasn't going to do that, and then I did. // and I'm going to test. And I still didn't get it right. 1 second. And it says it's not finding my pattern, but it should be highlighting past. Well, it should be at the beginning of the word where left was, which is highlighted here with past is left behind. So I'm not sure why I'm not getting that one. If you've still got the other part typed out, then that works. Not sure though what's saying it's not finding test. I do want to try. I think I did it wrong. There we go. And that's why it was not working. When you do it right, it usually does the right thing. Okay, to search and replace a word, we do the following. So instead of left, I'm going to use test here. So I've got colon %s /test / and then I want to make test all uppercase. 8 substitutions. And now you know how to do the search and replace. Okay, we can do the undo the last thing we did by pressing U. So it turns my uppercase test back into the lowercase test. And that's the end of that particular assignment. I can log out. And come back to my course to see where I am. So in the modules view, what we just completed was the Mindtap activity here, Module 2, Lesson 1. Okay. Now you want to complete the knowledge check after performing that activity.